return. And notice the little surprise I installed just for you. A specially woven metal alloy, ingeniously combined with state-of-the-art cleansing materials. I call it Steel Wool! And it comes with a laser! Any last words? About no.
Guys, I wanna be honest with you. I love Pokémon. The first game I've ever played was Pokémon Ruby Edition. And I loved Gen 3, I loved Gen 4, I loved the Gen 2 remakes, and Generation 5 was absolutely peak childhood. Since probably 15 years, I'm buying every single game that the Pokémon company releases. But since then, the games are kinda getting worse and worse every year. I think it's very difficult to define where this trend started of the games getting worse. For me, it's probably Pokémon Sun and Moon. Many people would also say Pokémon Sword and Shield. It's different for everyone, but everyone thinks the same. And I defended this franchise harder than anything else. But even I am reaching a breaking point right now. This video is going to be a rant, and it's going to be very loud. I'm sorry. The Pokémon games are getting worse and worse, but they used to be still tolerable. Terrible, but still somehow acceptable. But this is on a whole new level. Pokémon Legends ZA released on 12th October 2025. And what can I say? It's so unincredible disappointing and so unincredible lazy. I don't know what to say. Here's everything wrong with Pokémon Legends ZA. This game looks completely unfinished. How is it possible to develop a game that runs so bad? I played mobile games that were better developed than this. I even played Roblox games that looked better than this. The game just takes place in Illuminous City. And I'm not the type of person who say, I demand a giant map. Every game needs to be as big as Red Dead Redemption 2 or The Witcher. There are also lots of amazing games with small maps. This isn't one of them. Because good small gaming maps need very clever design and infrastructure. Illuminous City is just a circle where every building looks the same. And by the way, this is walking through the whole map. I made this video faster, but it was like 3 minutes. And usually one of the strongest points of Pokémon games are their overworld, are their map. With mountains, different cities, seas, old monuments, diverse landmarks, weathers. This is all just missing. And every collectible you can collect, like these rocks you can trade for megastones, they just look always so misplaced. Wow. Another big core element of Pokémon games are their battling system. For those of you who aren't little Pokémon nerds like I am, in regular Pokémon games, the fighting system on the surface looks just like a blown up version of rock, paper, scissors, where you attack turn by turn, and the strongest Pokémon with the best type advantage wins. But beneath that kids game is actually a highly competitive game with highly complex mechanics, which, if you get too deep into, start to feel like a quantum entanglement 12th dimension probability calculus game. Oh, okay, it's not that complicated, but it's way more deep than most people think it is. But in Pokémon ZA, they just threw it all out of the window. Now, you just have to press one of these 4 buttons. If you want to be good, you press them as fast as you can. And then you wait till they are again full, and then you can press the button again. And while the enemies are attacking you, you just walk around and your Pokémon dodges accidentally every single move because he's following you. My explanation was very oversimplified, but just like this battle system. And some bigger, like boss fights that come late in the story, they just feel so stupid, like so worthless. They have like 1 trillion HP, and then you press those 4 buttons and walk around. It's really without any strategy or anything. Why? This game also brought back Mega Evolutions, which was in my opinion one of the best features Pokémon games ever had. And the fans loved it. It has many new Mega Evolutions, which some of look very cool, and some of not so. Which is totally fine. But what is kinda sad, and also speaks a little bit to the laziness of the developers, this game didn't add a single new Pokémon. Which is, I think, let's fact check it. Yes, it is the first Pokémon game ever who didn't feature a new Pokémon. Except the Mega Evolutions, of course, but there isn't a single totally new Pokémon. Not a new evolution, not a new regional form, not a new fossil or something. Not even a new legendary Pokémon or mythical Pokémon. I don't know. And then there are the graphics. The graphics also just look lazy. I think I could have done it better. And I've never done anything like this. And I think I could have done it better in Paint. It's most likely because this game was not only released on the new powerful Switch 2 from 2025, it was also released on the 8 years old original Switch, which is meanwhile completely outdated. Maybe that's the reason it looks like this, or maybe it's just bad optimization and laziness. Because the original Switch had also amazing looking games, like Metro or Red Dead Redemption. Okay, they didn't run on the Switch, they walked on the Switch. But the frame rates weren't that much worse than Pokémon ZA on the Switch 1. But graphics by side, Pokémon games never looked especially good. But the older Pokémon games, they had that thing, that magic.
I don't know, that thing, that magic.
This nostalgic vibe of being home. And this is completely missing in this game. It has no soul at all. I feel like the developers were sitting in their department and tried to create the biggest scam they could do. Game Freak has, according to analysts, a worth of $100 billion. And Pokémon is, by the way, the biggest franchise to have ever existed. Pokémon sits at first place like since ever, with a big gap before stuff like Hello Kitty, Disney, Star Wars. And for creating Pokémon Legends ZA, they used $13 million, which is 0.013% of their money. Okay, for me, $13 million is kind of much. I would be very happy to have $30 million. But for a company like Game Freak, $13 million are nothing. So, if one rice corn is worth $100,000, I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. This was the cost of Legends ZA. And the total money of Game Freak is... I don't have enough rice to demonstrate it. But it would be like a sack of 20 kilograms. And I'm not wanting Game Freak to spend their whole money on this game, but usually for companies, when they want to earn big money, they first invest big money. But also, developing money isn't everything. I'm trying to stay positive. There are many great games that didn't have a lot of money and become great. For example, Fortnite, Five Nights at Freddy's, Among Us, they all had like way smaller budgets than Pokémon Legends ZA. Okay, it's fine. They don't want to spend that much money on a small spin-off. Of course, if it was a AAA title, it would look different, but it's just a small spin-off. It's going to be cheap anyways, isn't it? Wow. 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 A full price $60 to $70 game. Wow. And they sell lots of special editions, at least here over in Europe, filled with stuff they probably found in their basement and thought, oh, that's too sad to throw away. We can give it to the idiots, they're buying it anyways. That's more or less $110. This looks like from Temu. Guys, wait. I have a last idea. How about, instead of releasing this game just as shitty as we intended it to do, we on top of this take out like half of the content and sell it to them as a DLC for $30. This is an abomination and a middle finger to every Pokemon fan in the world. I don't know what to say. For me personally, I'm done with Pokemon this close. And the reason why it's this and not this is because there is a new hope. A new hope on the horizon, which is called Generation 10. The next Pokemon generation will come out next year, 2026. And it's going to be developed completely on the new Switch 2. And it needs to be good. It really does. It will come out on a new console. Everyone and their grandmother had a Switch 1. But not everyone has a Switch 2. There aren't that many Switch 2 exclusive titles, like this big prime first party title. So this game is especially important for Pokemon. Not that Pokemon had like a heritage, but it's going to be their 10th generation. And it's going to be released on the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. And it either will revive the franchise or it's going to put the last nail in the coffin. So all in all, I have big hopes, and this game is probably going to be very good, and yes, I'm also going to buy it because I still trust the Pokemon company, and I think this game is going to be good. So yeah, I have big hopes. My name is Miguel Costa. This was my second video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, I would highly appreciate if you leave a like or even a follow. Thank you for your attention, and see you guys in the next video.